They say the greatest journey you'll ever take is the one within yourself. And they're right. Because success doesn't begin in a boardroom, on a stage, or in your bank account. It begins the moment you decide that you are enough to start. Welcome to Wisdom in Minutes Audiobooks, where today we dive deep into a truth that can transform your life forever. Success starts with you. Think about it. Every great dream, every achievement, every breakthrough humanity has ever witnessed started as a single thought in someone's mind. The difference between the person who dreams and the one who achieves is the courage to act. You can read every book, attend every seminar, and watch every motivational clip, but until you look in the mirror and say, "I am responsible for my own success," nothing changes, because the truth is, no one's coming to save you. The world doesn't owe you your best life. You owe it to yourself. You see, the most successful people aren't the ones with the most resources. They're the ones with the most resolve. They stopped waiting for the perfect time. They stopped blaming their past, their circumstances, or their luck. They realized that growth begins when excuses end. Success is not about luck. It's about choice. The choice to rise when it's easier to rest. The choice to believe when doubt whispers louder than faith. The choice to show up for your goals, even when no one's watching. Ask yourself, who could you become if you stopped holding back? If you silenced the voice that says, "Maybe later," and replaced it with, "I start now." Every day is an opportunity to rewrite your story. You have the power to turn your pain into purpose, your fear into fuel, your uncertainty into clarity, and it starts with one simple decision: to become the best version of yourself, not tomorrow, but today. Remember, success is not a destination. It's a direction. It's the consistent steps you take toward becoming who you're meant to be. You are not behind, you are becoming. You are not stuck, you are being shaped. Every setback is a setup for strength. Every failure is feedback from life, whispering, "Try again, but wiser this time." So stand tall, breathe deeply, remind yourself, you are your greatest investment. Build yourself like you would build your dream. Feed your mind with knowledge, your heart with gratitude, and your life with action, because when you become your best self, success doesn't just follow, it flows. They say the greatest power a human being can ever discover is the realization that everything begins and ends with them. The choices, the mindset, the energy you bring into every moment, this is where success truly starts. Not in luck, not in the approval of others, not in circumstances, but in you. You are the foundation, the architect, and the builder of your own destiny. The world around you simply mirrors the world within you. If your thoughts are rooted in fear, you'll see obstacles. But if your heart is grounded in belief, you'll see opportunities everywhere. The truth is, no one else can define your path or decide your worth. The moment you understand that your life is in your hands, you unlock the first gate to power and possibility. Most people spend their lives waiting for the right time, waiting for the right opportunity, waiting for someone to believe in them. But waiting is just another word for hesitation, and hesitation is the silent killer of dreams. The people who rise above, the ones who achieve extraordinary success, are not necessarily smarter, luckier, or more talented. They are simply the ones who made a decision. They looked in the mirror and said, "If I want it, I'll create it. If I dream it, I'll build it." They understood that the person they were waiting for was staring right back at them. The moment you stop blaming your past, your parents, your environment, or your circumstances, and start owning your power, that's when transformation begins. You are not your failures. You are not your mistakes. You are not your circumstances. You are the thinker of your thoughts, the driver of your direction, the leader of your life. You decide what story you tell yourself, and that story becomes your reality. If you tell yourself you're not good enough, you'll prove it to yourself every day. But if you dare to tell yourself, I was made for more, your actions, habits, and mindset will begin to align with that truth. The universe doesn't respond to wishful thinking. It responds to self-belief followed by consistent action. The power to change your life doesn't lie in what happens to you. It lies in what you choose to do about it. Every successful person you admire once stood where you stand, at the edge of uncertainty, facing self-doubt, wondering if they had what it takes. The difference is that they didn't let fear paralyze them. They decided that even if they failed, they would fail forward. They trusted themselves enough to begin. You must do the same. You are not missing anything. You already have what it takes. The skills can be learned. The resources can be found. The doors can be opened. But only when you start walking toward them. You must understand that the quality of your life is directly connected to the quality of your mindset. If you believe the world is against you, you'll find proof of it everywhere. But if you believe that everything is working for your growth, even the hard times will start to look like lessons in disguise. This shift in perspective changes everything. The day you start taking full ownership of your thoughts, your emotions, and your reactions, that's the day you begin to master life itself. The outside world is just a reflection of the internal one. Change the inner world and watch the outer world transform. Don't wait for someone else to validate your worth. Don't expect people to hand you confidence. Confidence is self-made. It's the product of keeping the promises you make to yourself. Every time you show up, every time you push through discomfort, every time you do what you said you'd do, you build a quiet, unshakable strength inside you. That strength becomes your foundation. It becomes the unbreakable belief that no matter what comes your way, you will rise. The truth is, success doesn't come from what you have, it comes from who you are becoming. You can't expect to live an extraordinary life if you keep thinking like the ordinary version of yourself. Growth demands discomfort. Transformation requires self-awareness. You must be willing to question your habits, challenge your beliefs, and let go of the version of you that no longer serves your purpose, because the person you want to become is already inside you, waiting for you to stop doubting and start doing. Imagine waking up each morning knowing that the life you want is not out there. It's already within you, waiting to be built through your decisions, your mindset, your consistency. Imagine how unstoppable you become when you no longer depend on motivation but move from purpose. Imagine realizing that everything you've been searching for, peace, confidence, success, fulfillment, has always been within your reach because you are the source of it all. You are the beginning of your success story. Every dream, every achievement, every victory starts when you stop pointing fingers and start raising your standards. The only person who can stand in your way is you, and the only person who can move you forward is you. The mirror holds your greatest ally and your greatest competitor. So look into it, not with doubt, but with conviction. Tell yourself that you are ready to take control, to build, to grow, and to rise, because the world doesn't change when you wish. It changes when you decide. And the moment you decide that success starts with you, that's the moment everything around you begins to shift in your favor. You hold the pen, you write the story, and the first chapter begins right now with you. Everything you experience in life begins with a single source: your mind. The way you think, the stories you tell yourself, the beliefs you hold. All of it builds the invisible architecture of your destiny. Your mindset is not just an attitude, it is the lens through which you see the entire world. Two people can face the same situation. One sees an obstacle, the other sees an opportunity. The difference isn't in what they face, it's in how they think. That's the power of your mindset. It shapes your reality before your actions ever do, and when you learn to master your mind, you master your life. The truth is, success doesn't start with a plan, a strategy, or even a dream. It starts with a decision to think differently. Your thoughts are the soil where your future grows. If that soil is poisoned with fear, doubt, and limitation, no dream can take root. But if it's nourished with belief, resilience, and clarity, success becomes inevitable. The most powerful people in the world are not those with the most money or resources. They are the ones who have trained their minds to stay focused, calm, and strong no matter what happens around them. Your mindset is your greatest investment, because when you master your inner world, the outer world begins to align. Every day you have two voices competing in your head. One says, "You can't." The other whispers, "You can." Which voice you listen to determines everything. The first voice is fear. It's the echo of every past mistake, every insecurity, every limitation you've accepted as truth. But the second voice is power. It's your higher self calling you toward growth, courage, and greatness. Most people lose the battle not because they lack ability, but because they surrender to the wrong voice. The secret is to feed your faith and starve your doubt. Train your mind like a muscle, because if you don't control your thoughts will control you. Your mindset is the silent force that dictates how you respond to life's challenges. When something goes wrong, do you crumble or do you rise? The difference lies in your mental conditioning. You can't control what happens, but you can control how you interpret it. A growth mindset sees every setback as a setup for a comeback. It believes that failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of it. Every mistake becomes feedback. Every obstacle becomes training. When your mindset shifts from "why me" to "try me," you stop being the victim of circumstances and start becoming the creator of your destiny. You must guard your mind like a fortress. Everything you consume, what you watch, what you read, who you listen to, shapes your thinking. If you surround yourself with negativity, you'll start to believe in limitation. But if you surround yourself with inspiration, you'll start to believe in possibility. Your environment feeds your thoughts, and your thoughts feed your actions. Protect your mental space as if your life depends on it, because it does. A distracted mind can't create focused success. A fearful mind can't build courageous dreams. Fill your mind with clarity, and your life will follow suit. The mind has incredible power to manifest what it believes. If you constantly tell yourself you're unlucky, unworthy, or incapable, life will echo that back to you. that if you affirm that you're strong, capable, and destined for more, your subconscious begins to align with that truth. Your brain doesn't argue with your words, it believes them. So speak to yourself with intention. Replace self-doubt with self-direction. Replace "I can't" with "I will." Replace "I'm not ready" with "I'm getting stronger every day." The language you use to describe your life becomes the blueprint you live by. You must also understand that mastering your mindset is not a one-time event, it's a daily discipline. Just like your body needs exercise, your mind needs training. Feed it with wisdom, challenge it with purpose, and calm it with gratitude. Each day, take a few minutes to realign with your vision. Visualize where you want to go. See yourself succeeding, speaking with confidence, moving with certainty. The mind doesn't differentiate between imagination and reality. It simply follows what it's repeatedly shown. So, show it the version of you that you're becoming. The greatest transformation happens when you stop reacting emotionally and start responding intentionally. A strong mindset doesn't mean you never feel doubt. It means you recognize it, but don't surrender to it. It means you acknowledge your fears but act anyway. Strength is not the absence of weakness, it's the mastery of it. When you control your emotions, your focus sharpens, your confidence grows, and your actions become powerful. You stop being tossed around by uncertainty and instead become anchored in purpose. And when life tests you, and it will, remember this: storms don't break strong minds, they reveal them. Every challenge is an invitation to rise higher. Every disappointment is a lesson in disguise. The moment you decide to view life through the lens of growth, nothing can truly defeat you. Because when you change the way you think, you change the way you live. You begin to attract better, feel better, and become better. Success is not about what you achieve. It's about who you become in the process, and who you become begins in your mind. So, master it, guard it, elevate it. Because once your mindset shifts from limitation to possibility, your life follows that same direction. The world becomes less about what happens to you, and more about what happens through you. And that's when you realize the real battlefield of success was never out there. It was always inside your mind. There's a hidden truth that separates the dreamers from the doers, the talkers from the achievers. Perfection is an illusion, but progress is real. The most successful people in the world didn't wait for everything to fall perfectly into place before they began. They started before they felt ready. They understood that progress beats perfection every single time. Because perfection is safe, perfection is comfortable, perfection is a trap that disguises itself as preparation. If you wait for the perfect time, you'll wait forever. If you keep polishing your plans, editing your dreams, or doubting your readiness, the world will move forward without you. Progress is messy, uncomfortable, and uncertain, but it's also the birthplace of greatness. The biggest difference between those who make it and those who don't isn't talent or intelligence. It's action. Action in the face of fear. Action when motivation fades. Action when the outcome is unclear. Every step you take, no matter how small, moves you closer to who you want to become. The problem is that too many people want to start at the finish line. They want confidence before they act, results before they commit, and certainty before they move. But life doesn't work that way. Confidence comes from action, not before it. Clarity comes from doing, not waiting. You learn by moving forward, not by standing still. Every masterpiece began as a rough sketch. Every success story began as a first attempt. Think about that. Every great author once wrote bad drafts. Every great speaker once stumbled through their words. Every successful entrepreneur once failed their first idea. But they kept going. They understood that the path to mastery is paved with imperfection. The more you do, the better you become. The better you become, the further you go. That's the cycle of growth. You can't refine what you haven't started. You can't improve what doesn't exist. Waiting for perfect conditions is like waiting for the wind to stop before you set sail. It might never happen. Progress requires courage. It demands that you step into the unknown, embrace uncertainty, and trust that each step is shaping you for what's next. You won't always see results right away, but that doesn't mean you're not growing. Sometimes the progress that matters most is invisible. The mental strength, the resilience, the lessons that failure teaches you. Success isn't about getting everything right. It's about refusing to quit when things go wrong. Those who win in life are not those who avoid mistakes. They're the ones who learn from them faster. Think about a sculptor working with stone. With every strike of the chisel, a piece falls away. It looks messy. It looks chaotic. But with each strike, the true shape begins to emerge. That's what progress looks like. From the outside, it might seem uncertain, even clumsy, but it's the only path to creation. You are sculpting your future with every small decision you make. Every day you show up, even when you don't feel like it, you're carving out the person you're meant to become. Too many people sabotage their own potential by comparing their beginning to someone else's middle. They scroll through success stories online, forgetting that what they're seeing is the highlight reel, not the hard work. Progress is personal. It doesn't have to be loud or glamorous. It just has to be consistent. One step, one effort, one decision at a time. The goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to be better than yesterday. Because small daily progress compounds into extraordinary results over time. The people who transform their lives are not the ones who sprint. They're the ones who keep walking when everyone else stops. Perfectionism is fear dressed in productivity. It tells you that you're being careful, but in reality, you're being controlled by self-doubt. You're afraid of judgment, afraid of mistakes, afraid of being seen as imperfect. But here's the truth. Nobody is waiting for you to be perfect. The world is waiting for you to begin. It's waiting for your voice, your ideas, your energy. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to start where you are. Because progress is power. Every move forward, no matter how small, creates momentum. And momentum is the secret ingredient that turns effort into excellence. There will be times when you feel stuck, when the results don't show up as quickly as you hoped. That's when most people give up, right before the breakthrough. The key is to keep moving, even if it's an inch at a time. Success doesn't happen overnight. It happens through countless small victories that no one sees. Each setback, each failure, each challenge is teaching you how to become stronger, sharper, and more capable. Progress isn't always about moving faster. It's about refusing to stop. So ask yourself, are you waiting for the perfect moment, or are you willing to create one? Because the truth is, perfection doesn't exist, but progress does. And progress, over time, builds everything that perfection promises but never delivers. Every small step counts. Every imperfect attempt matters. What you build with effort today becomes your foundation tomorrow. Don't wait for permission to start. Don't let the fear of imperfection hold you hostage. Begin, stumble, learn, grow, and repeat. Because progress doesn't just lead to success. It is success. The courage to start, the will to continue, and the strength to improve are what separate dreamers from doers. And if you choose progress over perfection, you'll find that the life you've always wanted doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It begins the moment you do. Pain. The word alone carries weight. It's something we all experience, yet so few understand its purpose. Most people run from it, hide from it, or try to numb it. But here's the truth. Pain isn't your enemy. It's your greatest teacher. Every struggle, every disappointment, every heartbreak is shaping you into the person you're meant to become. The difference between those who crumble under pressure and those who rise from it lies in perception. You can let pain break you, or you can let it build you. The moment you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What is this teaching me?" that's the moment your pain begins to transform into power. Life was never meant to be easy. Growth was never meant to be comfortable. Diamonds are born from pressure, muscles are built through resistance, and strength is forged through struggle. Every challenge you face is refining you, chiseling away at your doubts, fears, and limitations. When you face adversity, it's not the universe trying to destroy you. It's preparing you. It's sharpening your character, so that when success comes, you're strong enough to carry it. The road to greatness is not smooth. It's filled with trials designed to reveal what you're made of. Pain doesn't come to stop you. It comes to show you that you're capable of far more than you ever imagined. There's a saying, "A smooth sea never made a skilled sailor." The storms you face are not punishments. They're opportunities. Opportunities to prove your resilience, to test your patience, and to strengthen your spirit. When you're in pain, you're being stretched beyond your comfort zone, and that's where growth lies. Comfort may feel safe, but it doesn't build strength. Pain does. Every tear, every sleepless night, every silent battle you fight is adding to your inner power. One day, you'll look back and realize that what felt like breaking was actually building. Think about the most powerful people in history. The leaders, the innovators, the visionaries. None of them escaped pain. In fact, pain was their foundation. It humbled them, disciplined them, and gave them a story worth telling. They didn't allow pain to make them bitter. They allowed it to make them better. That's the difference between defeat and growth. How you respond when life hits hard. Pain has the power to shape your identity, but only if you let it refine you instead of define you. You can either drown in it, or you can rise through it. The truth is, pain reveals what's inside you. When everything is easy, you don't learn who you are. But when life challenges you, when things fall apart, when plans fail, when people disappoint you, that's when you discover your strength. Pain strips away the illusions and forces you to meet yourself face to face. It introduces you to your resilience, your courage, and your determination. The most powerful version of you doesn't emerge when life is kind. It emerges when life demands your strength. That's where true transformation begins. Pain also carries purpose. Sometimes it's life's way of redirecting you. What feels like rejection might actually be protection. What feels like loss might be clearing space for something better. When doors close, It's not the end. It's the universe guiding you toward a new beginning. The challenge is learning to trust the process, even when it hurts, because pain isn't there to destroy you. It's there to awaken you. It reminds you that you're alive, that you're growing, and that you're meant for more. Don't run from your pain. Listen to it. There's wisdom in your wounds. Every scar tells a story, and every story carries strength. The moments that broke you also built you. The pain that hurt you also healed you in ways you couldn't see at the time. Growth often disguises itself as pain because transformation requires discomfort. You can't evolve and stay the same. Pain is the bridge that connects who you are now to who you're meant to be. When life gets hard, remember that you've survived every difficult day so far. You've made it through heartbreaks, failures, disappointments, and you're still standing. That means there's a fire inside you that pain cannot extinguish. Don't let temporary suffering convince you of permanent defeat. Use your pain as fuel. Let it remind you that you are stronger than you think, braver than you feel, and more capable than you realize. Pain may bend you, but it will never break you, unless you allow it to. You have two choices when life hurts. You can fall apart, or you can rise higher. You can use your pain as an excuse, or you can use it as energy. Every challenge carries a lesson. Every setback carries an opportunity. Every wound carries wisdom. You are not your pain. You are the strength that grows from it. So when life tests you, stand tall. When it hurts, breathe through it. When you fall, rise again. Because every time you get back up, you become more powerful, more focused, more unstoppable. Pain doesn't come to punish you. It comes to prepare you for everything you've asked for. And if you choose to face it, embrace it, and learn from it, you'll realize something truly extraordinary. Your greatest pain often leads to your greatest power. Discipline is the invisible force that separates the dreamers from the achievers. It's not glamorous, it's not loud, and it's not always exciting. But it's the one quality that guarantees success when motivation fades. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes like the wind. But discipline is the anchor that keeps you steady when the waves of distraction, fatigue, and doubt hit hard. The truth is, the people you admire most aren't driven by constant motivation. They are driven by commitment. They show up whether they feel like it or not, because they understand that consistency is the true currency of greatness. Every great success story has discipline written all over it. The athlete who trains before sunrise, the entrepreneur who builds when no one is watching, the writer who types one more page when inspiration is gone. They all have one thing in common. They've mastered the art of showing up. That's the essence of discipline. It's doing what needs to be done, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's inconvenient. It's saying no to distractions, so you can say yes to your future. While others wait for the perfect moment, disciplined people create it. Discipline isn't about restriction. It's about liberation. It frees you from the chaos of inconsistency and the regret of procrastination. When you commit to discipline, you take control of your life. You stop being a prisoner of emotions and start becoming the architect of your destiny. Discipline is what allows you to move forward when motivation disappears. Because no matter how passionate you are about your goals, there will come days when you don't feel like working, when the excitement fades and the grind feels endless. It's in those moments that discipline becomes your best friend. Think about it: every time you honor your commitments, you build trust with yourself, and that trust is the foundation of confidence. Confidence doesn't come from pep talks. It comes from proof. When you tell yourself you'll wake up early, go to the gym, or work on your goals, and you actually follow through, you send a powerful message to your subconscious. I keep my promises. That belief builds an unshakable inner strength. But when you break those promises, you weaken your own credibility. Discipline, then, is not just about what you do. It's about who you become through what you do consistently. The road to success is not paved with motivation. It's paved with routine. Winners don't wait to feel inspired. They rely on structure. They design habits that pull them toward their goals automatically. Because discipline thrives where clarity lives. When you know your purpose, your routine becomes your compass. Every small action, every repeated effort compounds into results that others mistake for luck, but luck is simply the shadow of discipline. You don't stumble into success. You schedule it, plan it, and work for it day after day. Discipline also requires sacrifice. You can't have everything you want right now and still expect to reach your highest potential. You have to trade temporary pleasure for long-term fulfillment. That means saying no to distractions, no to comfort, and no to the easy way out. It means doing the hard thing today, so you can live the better life tomorrow. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. And that bridge is built with daily choices. The small decisions you make every day either bring you closer to your vision or further away from it. Many people fail not because they lack goals, but because they lack consistency. They start strong, but they stop when it gets difficult. Discipline is the antidote to inconsistency. It doesn't ask for perfection. It asks for persistence. It's about showing up one more time, pushing one more rep, trying one more day. It's about understanding that growth takes time and patience, and that shortcuts only lead to setbacks. Discipline is the steady heartbeat of success. It keeps going even when everything else slows down. There will be moments when discipline feels like a burden, when waking up early feels impossible, when focus slips, when your mind whispers, "Take it easy." That's when your future self is watching, because every time you push past that voice, you strengthen your resilience. You're training your mind to obey your vision, not your emotions. And that's the true power of discipline. It's not about forcing yourself. It's about aligning yourself. It's about becoming so dedicated to your purpose that your actions become automatic, effortless, and intentional. Remember, discipline doesn't limit your freedom. It creates it. The freedom to live life on your terms, to chase your dreams without hesitation, to become the person you've always wanted to be. The disciplined life might seem demanding, but the undisciplined life is far more painful. The pain of regret will always outweigh the pain of effort. And if you choose discipline, you'll wake up one day and realize that the small sacrifices you made each day were actually investments in your greatness. Discipline is the quiet strength behind every success. It's the voice that says, "Keep going," when motivation runs out. It's the force that turns average into exceptional. It's the bridge between your dreams and your destiny. Every habit you build, every promise you keep, every challenge you face with courage, it all counts. Because the truth is simple, yet powerful. Motivation gets you started, but discipline keeps you going. And when you master discipline, you no longer chase success. Success starts chasing you. Becoming the kind of person success can't ignore isn't about chasing fame, fortune, or attention. It's about transforming yourself into someone whose actions, mindset, and energy naturally attract opportunities. It's about evolving into a version of yourself so focused, so disciplined, and so purpose-driven that success doesn't just find you. It's drawn to you. The world doesn't reward potential, it rewards presence. And when you start carrying yourself like someone who belongs in the room, the world starts opening doors that once seemed locked. Success, in its truest form, doesn't respond to noise. It responds to alignment. When your words, your values, and your actions move in harmony, you become magnetic. The truth is, you don't need to chase success. You need to become the type of person success chases. Too many people spend their lives pursuing results instead of developing the habits and character that produce them. They want recognition before they've earned resilience. They want rewards before they've proven reliability. But life doesn't work that way. You attract what you are ready for. When you grow internally, when your discipline deepens, your confidence strengthens, and your focus sharpens, success begins to mirror that growth. The outer world always reflects the inner one. That's why personal growth will always be the greatest strategy for achievement. Becoming the person success can't ignore starts with your standards. You must raise them so high that average no longer feels comfortable. Don't settle for good enough. When you're capable of greatness, your standards determine your energy, and your energy determines your results. Success gravitates toward people who expect more from themselves, who demand excellence, not because someone is watching, but because they take pride in who they are. Excellence isn't an act. It's a habit, one that's built in silence and revealed in performance. The ones who rise to the top aren't necessarily the loudest or the flashiest. They're the ones who are consistent, reliable, and relentless when no one else is paying attention. If you want success to notice you, stop chasing shortcuts and start mastering substance. The world is full of people who want the reward without the responsibility, the spotlight without the struggle. But true success has a way of testing those who seek it. It looks for integrity, for character, for commitment. It observes how you treat people when you have nothing to gain. It watches how you handle setbacks when no one is clapping for you. Because success isn't attracted to perfection. It's attracted to authenticity. When you become grounded in your values, when you operate from purpose instead of ego, success can't help but align with you. Every person who's achieved something extraordinary didn't do it by accident. They became intentional about their growth. They built habits that reinforced their vision. They mastered their craft, improved their mindset, and developed emotional control. Success doesn't follow chaos. It follows consistency. It's not about being better than others. It's about being better than you were yesterday. Every time you invest in yourself, reading, learning, practicing, pushing beyond comfort, you're quietly becoming the person success has no choice but to recognize. You must also understand that confidence is a byproduct of preparation. When you're prepared, you stop doubting yourself, because you know you've done the work. The people who seem naturally confident aren't necessarily fearless. They're simply ready. They've invested time, energy, and focus into their development, and that preparation becomes their power. When opportunity arrives, They don't hesitate, they execute. That's what makes them impossible to overlook. So, if you want to be the person success can't ignore, make preparation your daily ritual, because when your moment comes, and it will, you won't need luck, you'll need readiness. Success also respects humility. The higher you rise, the more important it becomes to stay grounded. Arrogance repels growth, but humility invites it. When you understand that there's always more to learn, more to give, and more to become, you stay open to evolution. Success is not a finish line, it's a state of progression. The people who sustain it are the ones who never stop improving, never stop serving, and never stop expanding their vision. They don't compete with others, they collaborate, inspire, and uplift. That's how you become unforgettable, not by outshining others, but by shining so authentically that you help others rise too. And perhaps the most powerful quality of those success can't ignore is persistence. You can be talented, intelligent, or lucky. But if you give up when things get tough, none of it matters. The world rewards the ones who keep showing up, who refuse to quit even when the results are invisible. Every no becomes fuel. Every setback becomes strategy. Every failure becomes a foundation. The more you endure, the more unshakable you become. Success doesn't come to those who never fall. It comes to those who never stop rising. Becoming the kind of person success can't ignore means being fully committed to your evolution. It means walking with integrity, leading with purpose, and working in silence until your results speak for you. It's not about impressing the world, it's about improving yourself. Because when you become the kind of person who adds value everywhere you go, success doesn't need to be chased. It will recognize you, respect you, and remain with you. You don't need to beg for opportunities when you're busy becoming one. You don't need to chase validation when your work speaks louder than your words. Build yourself so completely that success doesn't need to find you. It can't miss you. The world notices consistency, authenticity, and excellence. So, step into your greatness. Nurture your purpose and keep evolving. Because when you become the best version of yourself, success doesn't knock, it walks right in and stays. So stand tall, breathe deeply, remind yourself you are your greatest investment. Build yourself like you would build your dream. Feed your mind with knowledge, your heart with gratitude, and your life with action. Because when you become your best self, success doesn't just follow, it flows. This is your moment, your turning point, your beginning. Don't wait for motivation, create it. Don't chase success, become the kind of person success can't ignore. This has been Wisdom in Minutes Audiobooks, reminding you success doesn't start with luck, money, or opportunity. It starts with you.